and thank you very much for tuning in today. This is Jim Stordahl, and I am currently seated in my basement in the center of Iowa, the most flown over state in the Union, and we have so much going on in this state that really surprises me, from banning books to burning books to firing teachers to threatening teachers about what they're going to teach. I mean, it's almost like watching a bad movie or an old movie, The Takeover. I don't know where these people are coming from, but it appears that they have their voices being heard at our state capitol, which looks the same from the outside. Big gold dome downtown Des Moines, and I drive by it on a frequent basis when I drive for Uber or in my school bus or on a tour bus, and I always tell people, kind of like a tour guide should, that beautiful gold dome was in fact put in one flake at a time. They brought over a team of 4 specialists or artisans from Germany, and they spent a couple years here, and they pounded the little gold flakes into the dome. So it's not a quick paint job. It is a flake, gold flake, and it's something that if you ever come to Des Moines, you got to go see it. Today's talk, we're talking about mental health, and why not? It's 2022. Some of the stuff I talked about even a year ago, talking about mental health and farmers' mental health, students' mental health, overall mental health. There seems to be a lot of educational opportunities for people to learn about mental health or to write about mental health. There is no shortage of mental health ideas and advice. Here's one that's fresh off the printer, from the Des Moines Register, something that I don't really recommend to a lot of people anymore. The Des Moines Register has changed a great deal, but it's one of the few constant sources of information here in central Iowa. Something's happened at the Des Moines Register. The readership has gone down, subscriptions have gone down, the pages are full of advertising. Nobody gets away from their desk anymore to, pound the bricks and go out and get a good story, and it takes a while. And then if you want to get a paper, I mean, the paper's been delivered to my house, to my front door for 15 years. But that guy retired, and now his replacement throws it anywhere. Neighbor's yard, out in the street, in the driveway. It's called hunt for a paper, as far as I'm concerned. But that's something that it appears is happening to a lot of people. I mean, here in Iowa, take it for instance, we got 300 daily newspapers 10 years ago. Now we got 150. I mean, it's kind of sad. So when people are arguing about a lot of stuff and don't seem to have really solid information, or the misinformation is just rampant, you can see they're getting it off of Facebook or Twitter or whatever other venue they're getting. Let's read this article by Marty Walsh, Walsh. Marty is a guest columnist. He is the U.S. Secretary of Labor, and you can follow him, excuse me, You can follow him at SEC Marty, MARTY, WALSH, Sec Marty Walsh. Here we go. This is Marty Walsh talking. Mental health is health, period. When someone gets the flu or sprains an ankle, there's no question about whether care is needed. If that person has health insurance, they can go to their doctor or nearest urgent care or hospital. It's often a commonplace, run-of-the-mill experience. You go in, you pay a co-payment, you see the healthcare professional, and you're on your way home. Unfortunately, the experience for someone with a mental health condition or in need of treatment for substance use disorder is usually very different. Often, people feel apprehensive about seeking treatment in the first place. They worry, what will my friends think? Or, I probably shouldn't tell my job that I need time off to see a psychologist. Trust me, I had similar thoughts when I needed help dealing with alcoholism in my 20s. Now this is Marty Walsh speaking, guest columnist, U.S. Secretary of Labor. I had similar thoughts when I needed help dealing with alcoholism in my 20s. I knew something was wrong, but it was so hard to make that first step. I'm grateful that as a union member, I had access to the care I needed, because once I did ask for help, my life started to change for the better. But for many, once they reach a point where they're ready to seek care, getting that care can be an even bigger challenge. From identifying professionals who will take your insurance to figuring out what requirements you need to meet for treatment to be covered by your plan, the process can be incredibly difficult to navigate. This is not only frustrating for those who need critical services, in many cases it's also illegal. The Mental Health Parity and Addiction Equity Act, which was passed in 2008, aims to improve access to treatment for mental health conditions and substance use disorders. At its core, the law is designed to make sure insurance companies and health plans cover mental health and substance use disorder treatment the same way they cover physical care. Whether you're seeking help for a sprained ankle or an opioid use, your benefits are protected by the law. Nearly 2 years into a pandemic, more people than ever need care, and they are seeking care for mental illness and substance use disorders. So it's more important than ever to make sure everyone can get the help they need. Getting the care that you are entitled to should never be a struggle. That's why mental health parity is a priority for the Biden-Harris administration, for the Department of Labor, and for Marty Walsh personally. Last year, Congress provided us with new tools to enforce the law, and we are using them. Our Employee Benefits Security Administration is taking action to ensure equal access to treatment for mental health conditions and substance use disorders for more than 136 million people in insurance plans covered by the law. It's a big number, 136 million people that have insurance, and they're covered by this law. Last week, we released a report to Congress that highlights where we have found insurance companies and health plans are falling short when it comes to providing parity in care, and how we're ramping up our enforcement of the law. We have increased the staff and resources dedicated to this work. Our teams are identifying violations and working with employers and companies to increase compliance. Group plans and insurers must be able to show us their work if they're claiming to meet the requirements of the law. In addition, we are reaching out to consumers, health plans, insurance companies, and state regulators to help them understand and follow the law moving forward. And just as important, we are working with a wide range of partners all across America to reduce the stigma attached to mental health and substance use treatment that prevents people from exercising their rights and seeking care in the first place. Everywhere I travel, I talk about these issues, and I always find families, providers, and communities who are eager to address them. We hope that this report and our ongoing efforts show health plans that we take this issue seriously and provide more opportunities for people to get the care they need and are entitled to under the law. The fact is, mental health is simply health. And I know from experience, when someone reaches out their hand for help, that is the moment when care and treatment must be there for them. Now, I'm reading that's an article that appeared in the Des Moines Register. It was written by Marty Walsh, W-A-L-S-H. He is currently the U.S. Secretary of Labor, and he's the guest columnist that's talking about mental health parity is a priority for Mr. Biden. The one thing I have to hit again from my own personal point of view, the most important, that everybody needs to work on reducing the stigma attached to mental health, because it prevents people from exercising their rights and seeking care in the first place. I spent 30 years with the Postal Service, and to be quite honest, to be quite candid, they could care less about your mental health. They eat you up and spit you out. There are many, many examples. I mean, where did the reference going postal come from? You've probably heard it. It popped up 20 years ago, 15 years ago. Whenever there's a shooting, a disgruntled postal employee, I mean, those three words seem to always go together. Disgruntled postal employee, going postal, can't handle it anymore. Well, you work in a big company, a big business, 600 to 700,000 employees nationwide, and the rules change from every state, from every post office. You get 10 postmasters together, you get 10 different examples of what could go wrong and what does go wrong as far as managing people. The longer you're in the Postal Service, the more you get to experience the fact that people who should have never been promoted end up getting promoted, putting in charge of other people, being put in charge of other people's thoughts and actions, and they shorten their careers, force them out, force them into an early retirement, make their last 5, 8, 10 years of Postal Service just pure hell. I mean, there are problems. It's nationwide. I mean, they talk about, oh, I'm going to write a book about this. I've been around enough, into enough post offices, and worked at a number of different levels before I was forced out early to an early retirement, to know that there is a wild management principle. It's survival of the fittest, and it's one of those sad things. Another story at another time. But here we are, 2002. Mental health. I've got another article. Banks should get invested in farmers' mental health. The suicide rate for farmers is up. No time to waste, our education chief says. Many students falling behind during the pandemic. Mental health problems in children of all ages. I mean, what is going on here? It's moved up to the front page, and it goes to the second page, and then it comes back with a little bit different wording. But we have our mental health issues, and nobody seems to want to tackle it or deal with it. I mean, it's like working with poison when it comes to congressional people. The politicians won't touch mental health at all, at any time, for any reason. We have some great writers in some of the smaller newspapers here in Iowa, and I've got this part written down from an editorial that came out of Clear Lake, Iowa, and I just got to read it. There's a delusion of invincibility, and needles are not in our toolkit. People are not getting vaccinated. Less than 50% are getting vaccinated. Fatalism can get a foothold with those of us overwhelmed by just trying to make do. Inflation is rising, and so are interest rates. Those interest rates rising can disrupt any of our problems. Climate legislation is on life support as Earth cooks. A rights bill was snuffed by self-indulgent senators at the national level. Who can find daycare or help at your business? Healthcare workers are pooped and dropping out. Teachers are being threatened and dropping out. Books are being banned and burned. And this isn't 1933, it's 2022. Listen to that. Books are being banned and burned, and teachers are being threatened with losing their jobs. They can't teach history. They can't teach certain items from our past. What is going on? This is Bipolar Dad, and my name is Jim Stordahl. You can get me at hashtag Jim the Bus Driver, hashtag Bipolar Dad. You call me, email me, text me. Not that I've got all the answers, but I know I've got a lot of questions. That's it for this episode. Thanks for listening, and we will be talking at you real soon. Bye-bye.